in order to address environmental issues relating to policy and climate that have practically caused the low rates of agricultural production in the ECOWAS sub-region. Experts are calling on the members to embark on a peer review mechanism to ensure proper implementation of allocation so as to boost grassroots participation in farming activities. Speaking at the presentation of the ECOWAS Parliament Joint Committee on Agriculture, Environment and Natural Resources, Infrastructure, Energy and Mines, Industry and Private Sector in Bissau, Guinea-Bissau on Wednesday, the project coordinator, Climate Change Environmental Directorate, Department of Agriculture, Environment and Water Resources of the ECOWAS Commission, Roa Kume, said there is a need for members of the parliament to encourage the establishment of sustainable governance mechanisms for climate change across ECOWAS countries. The Economic Community of West African States, since its inception, have been committed to enhancing accountability and good governance. Prior to this, various policies and structures have been put in place to better the lives of the citizens. First, owing to this auspicious event, to discuss how policies relating to agriculture and climate can be prioritized both at local, national and regional levels to meet the Sustainable Development Goal of ending hunger by 2030. These experts opine that much work is still needed as 2030 is years away, hence calling on the MPs to be more proactive in addressing the effect of climate change, thereby ensuring that their respective governments adopt policies that will advance the economy of the region.
The Directorate has developed some key documents, which is the ECOWAS environmental policy, and also from there we draw the regional climate strategy, which come along with the climate access, climate finance access and mobilization strategy for us to allow the Commission to mobilize the adequate resources for the implementation of the climate change strategy and also contributing to the implementation of the environmental policy. As you know, also for the implementation of such document, we need to put in place some mechanism, take some law at the national level, where the MPs also they have a role to play. So our intention for presenting all these documents is for them, when going back to the countries, the different countries, they can also be aware at the regional level what are the action has been taken by the Commission, and also they need to translate all this in the national law.
The role of advocacy, lobbying, so that first of all the country will increase the budget allocation to the agriculture sector. Otherwise, we will not meet the engagement of 2025, ending the poverty in West Africa. And secondly, we also want them to commit for a kind of peer reviews in terms of respecting the commitment at the Malabo level, and of course at the regional level, and of course at the national level, so that we get the real picture by the time we are going through 2025 reviews. We have a national agri-investment plan designed, approved, and adopted at the national level. So it means that you will be giving necessary budget allocation on annual budgeting programming. If you don't do annual budgeting programming, then you will not meet it. Then, of course, you need to do economic analysis so that you will know where the investment will be going. And even though when you have you met the 10% of allocation, you need also to look at the efficiency of the investment. Does the money going on ground to the farmers level, at the local level, or does the money going somewhere else? These are the typical questions. And of course, the public investment, public leaders has that primary responsibility for allocation enough fund to the agriculture sector. The 10% is just the minimum. That's the minimum so that we can get the target of ending hunger and making agriculture contributing in the global growth economy in each of the member states.
Meanwhile, other members of the committee expressed concerns over factors hindering agricultural production, stressing that making fertilizers an essential commodity is paramount to boosting regional food production.
Recommendations they want to make so that we'll be able to produce our own fertilizer in the coming years. issue of climate change, I want to find out from the presenter. You know, every country have a climate change policy. I would like to find out the issues that you have presented. Are you able to find a way to be able to harmonize our country's climate change policies with whatever you have presented?
To look at agriculture when it comes to how do we provide sustainability through loan. I think we need to, in some countries they have agricultural development bank. Some banks are dedicated to agricultural entity. How do we encourage these institutions so that they lend out resources to farmers, and the process of profit margin, the duration of payment, all those things will be put in place to encourage and to boost farm production, thus addressing the issue of food security.
The Joint Committee had in its team a critical review at the ECOWAS Environmental Policy and Climate Strategy with the biennial review of agriculture, food and nutrition security by member countries. It's specifically designed to review the level of implementation and strategies put by the regional governments to curb hunger in ECOWAS states. Vincent Sokushi from Guinea-Bissau.